you need to take control of your own life. Now, if you're like that person that sits there and dwells on what somebody said or what happened in their past, what's something that they did that they regret, and they just can't get over it, my advice, get over it. I mean, it sounds dumb, but it really is that simple. You sit there and you overthink, and then you wish that things could change, right? You wish that things didn't happen the way it did, but the truth is, no matter what happened in the past, whether it was good or bad, you can never fully change what happened. I mean, yes, it's common sense. Everybody knows this, but yet we allow it to ruin what's happening now all the time. So why am I saying take control of your own life? The reason why I say that is because when you do this, you give this power to either somebody else or you give this power to a mistake you made in the past. When you do that, you're allowing this moment or this person to control your life however it is. It's like, for example, when something bad happens to somebody in relationships, whether it's like I use this example a lot, but when you get cheated on or whatever happens, and you sit there and you dwell on it, and you don't go out and meet new people, what are you doing? You're putting your life into the person who cheated on you's hands. And you're probably like, well, how am I doing that? You're doing that because you're doing exactly what they would want. Now, whether they literally want it or not, that's not the point. But if you're talking about from like an evil person's perspective, what would they want? They wouldn't want you to grow. They wouldn't want you to go out and meet new people. They want all the attention on them, right? So you're doing what they want you to do. You're putting the control of your life into their hands, even though they're not even deserving of it. And you're doing it subconsciously. You don't even really recognize it. That's why when years go by and people are still talking about their ex and stuff that happened and they're not growing from it, they're not in control of their own lives as it is, and they don't even realize it. It's like they're kind of like walking around like zombies, and they don't know. So literally all you have to do is focus on the present moment. It's really simple, but I'm not gonna sit here and say it's easy. It's not. Everybody's gonna think about the past. Everybody's gonna think about the future. That's a given. But you just can't let the past or the future affect what's happening now. It's good. It's okay to think about that stuff every now and again. Sometimes it's good, but when all you're doing is living in the past or the future, you're not giving any room for the present moment to actually exist. You're kind of just there. You're not really living in the moment. You're always in the past. So for like this instance, for the example I made, you're always living in the past. You're giving control to what happened in your past. Therefore, you are not in control of your own life. You are giving it to someone else. It's just like the same way as when you meet those people who they can't make decisions on their own. The decisions are made always through others. So because this person likes this thing, I like this thing. Because this person doesn't like this thing, I don't like this thing. Because this person doesn't like this person, now I don't like this person. You know, those kinds of people. So it's the same way. They don't have control of their own lives because they're either afraid of being judged or whatever the reason is. They want to be liked. It doesn't really matter. You can't be yourself. Therefore, you don't have control of your own life. You're giving it to somebody else because of opinion. You're doing it out of fear, whatever it is. So when you sit there and you dwell on mistakes you made in the past, when you sit there and you dwell on things that people said to you or things that people did to you in your past, you are not in control of your life anymore. You simply lost control and you're stuck in that moment. So the way to get out of it is simply, like I said, live in the present moment. That's about the most you can do. That's all you have to do. Once you do that and you let the past be the past, now you have control of your life again. Now you can make your own decisions. Now you can do your own thing. But when you let these horrible events in your past ruin what's happening now, you aren't in control. You've lost control entirely. Like I said, if like a bad thing happened in a relationship, you got cheated on or whatever, and let's say you never date again. Let's say like that's what cut it off for you. You're done dating simply because of what happened in the past. You lost control. And I know some of you will probably disagree with me on that because you'd be like, well, I just don't want to get hurt again. That's great. But you're putting so much power into what happened in your past. You're putting so much power into what someone did to you. And you're like subconsciously comparing all these new people to this one bad person that did this bad thing to you in your past. You're not giving any room for good people to come into your life. That's what I'm saying. So when bad things happen and you simply give up, whether it's on a relationship or even a job, a dream, it can be anything. When a challenge comes up and you just give up and you simply say, you know what, I'm done, I'm never doing this again, you have lost control of your own life. You are not in control of it anymore. Somebody else is, steering, somebody else is driving your life, and you don't even realize it, and they don't either. But they're in control. They control you like a little puppet. It's like, for example, if you don't speak out, you don't say your opinions because you're afraid that no one's going to like you, once again, you're not in control of your own life. Somebody else is controlling it for you, even if they don't recognize it or they don't realize it, right? Because when you stop being yourself for someone else because you're afraid of what could happen, you now don't have control. I think you understand where I'm going with this. And this is with anything. It's not just relationships. It's not just jobs. It's not just dreams. It's about just about anything. The moment you have to stop being yourself for someone else, you lost control. You lost of who you really are. And that's probably why later down the line, if you are that kind of person, later down the line, you realize that you don't know who you are. It's because you put on a mask for so many years that now you have to sit there and you have to actually figure out who you are. It's kind of sad when you think about it. I mean, it really is. But that's the truth, though. There's people out there that will, and maybe even you, there's people that literally go years and years and years of their life without even realizing who they are, what their interests are, what do they like to do, what's their dreams. There's people out there that seriously are like that, and it's sad. So if you haven't been in that situation, which lucky for you, if you haven't and you want to avoid that situation, simple answer, be yourself. Doesn't matter who it is, be yourself. Because that's going to stop anything from happening. And then for the others situation where when bad things happen to you, just look at it as a lesson. Don't let it sit there and linger for the rest of your life, that you don't give yourself room to grow, and you don't open up your heart to better and new people, because you're holding yourself back from what your life could be. I see it all the time. I meet people all the time where they get with a girl breaks their heart, cheats on them, does whatever, or was lying to them the whole time, whatever the situation is, and then they'll sit there and they'll say, I'm never dating again. And some of them are dead serious. Some of them cave in, they still go dating again, which that's good in my opinion. But there's people out there that I know that literally haven't dated since. They haven't even tried to go meet new people. Even if it's not dating, they just don't go meet new people because they're afraid of what could happen, or they feel like it's a waste of time. I mean, in my opinion, it's not. I feel like socializing is very important, and it kind of it gives yourself a chance to express yourself, I mean, when you don't have anybody to talk to, who are you expressing yourself to? The wall? Yourself? You already are you. So it's nice to have somebody to express that to, even if it is like a family member or whatever. But there's people that don't even talk to their family either. So just don't be that guy. Don't be that person that something bad happens to you and you hold yourself back and you put your life in their hands. They don't deserve your life in their hands. They don't. They screwed you over. They disrespected you. Use it as a lesson and get out of that situation and grow from it. Don't fall from it. The very important part is make sure that you're always growing, even when bad times come up. Even when those really negative situations come up, you run into those really negative people. I've ran into a lot of negative people that acted like they cared about me and they never gave a shit about me the entire time. And I would do anything for them. And I'm still open to meeting new people. I'm not going to come over here and be like, I'm never making new friends. I'm never going to meet anybody new. I'm done. This is bullshit. I'm never going to do that, because I know the moment I do that, I now lost control of who I am, and I now lost control of my life. I now officially put it into somebody who doesn't even deserve me, somebody who doesn't even deserve my life, and it's now in their hands. And a lot of times we're in that situation and we don't even realize it. So, like I said, my advice, when bad things happen, when you come across bad people or you come across a really toxic situation, obviously, naturally, you are going to think about it probably for a little while. But even if you are thinking about it, do not let that be the reason that you stop, like, meeting new people. Maybe if the situation is like you're trying to go get your dream job, you go into an interview, it doesn't go well, it goes terrible, and you're just like, you know what, I'm done, I'm just going to settle for what I have now. The moment you do things like that, you have lost control. So don't be that person. Be the person, and it might sound a little cliche, but be the person that gets up, dusts themselves off, and just goes into the next day. And keep doing that, because eventually something is going to hit. Something is going to land, whether you believe it or not. Because I don't think anybody's ever seen somebody work at something or, go towards a goal for so long and seen no type of growth, So even if it's not success in the way you see it, you're still going to grow from it. You're still going to succeed in some fashion, whether it's financial, relationship, or whatever, or just simply wisdom, or whatever you want to call it. You are succeeding in some way. But what you're not succeeding is when one bad thing happens, when something doesn't go your way, and you just give up entirely and you're done, you're going to settle for what you have, you officially lost. You lost the game of life. You lost yourself. You lost the control of your own life. So don't let bad things ruin your perspective. If I, like, with the mindset I have, I make these videos to help people, because I know a lot of people are not like me. A lot of people do not think the way I do. And just like anybody else, I go through tough times all the time. And if I were to be one of those people that let those bad times and those negative situations, those negative people, those bad people, whatever you want to call it, say it, whatever the situation is, if I want to be one of those people that I let one negative thing ruin me, I would not be here making this video whatsoever. I would not even be thinking in the way I do. I would think all negative, because that's how people are. Bad things happen to them, it forces it into their brain, and then they create a negative mindset. I make these videos so that those kinds of people may come across it, and maybe, just maybe, I can unlock something in their brain to figure out that, or to realize that life isn't as bad as you think it is. You can even get good lessons. You can even get good things out of bad situations and bad people. You learn a lot of stuff from those kind of things. Sometimes you got to go through, like, a lot of bad shit before you can get to that prize or that goal that you've always wanted. And that's just the truth. Sometimes you go through, a really bad breakup or a really bad relationship that was toxic or whatever, and then it leads into somebody who you never thought would even exist. Somebody so great you couldn't even process in your head now. And it's the same thing with your dream job. Sometimes you got to work at those factories. Sometimes you got to work at the fast food before you get to the top. Sometimes that is how it is. And all I can say is, if you are in that situation, don't let that be the reason that you just give up on your dreams and you give up on what you want to do. Take control of your own life. Realize that every negative situation has some type of lesson in it. You're growing in some sense out of that situation. Once you realize that, put it to good use. Don't use it as a reason to give up. Use it as a reason to grow and better your life and better yourself. And grow your mindset, because I feel like mindset's a very important thing nowadays. A lot of people don't have that positive mindset, so work on that as well, because mindset is going to carry you throughout your entire life. Jobs, challenges, relationships, people, it's going to carry you. So it's better to just think more positively about life. And I know it's not that simple. It's not just as simple as, oh, I'm so glad to be here. I get that. But it is very beneficial. Not just to succeed in life, but I also just think like mentally, the health, it's so much better than sitting there and thinking that everything sucks and everything's shit and, you know, all that. But you need to take control of your own life. It's as simple as that. There's really nothing more I can say here. Just take control of your own life and don't let these bad situations or these bad people take control of your life. The last thing you want to do is have somebody else in the driver's seat of your life. You don't want that. Unless it's Jesus. Good for you. But you get what I'm saying. So, yeah. And off topic, follow God. You know, if you ever need help, ask him for help. Talk to him. I mean, even recently with some situations I have in my life, I find myself getting distant from him sometimes, and I'll be honest, I'm not perfect. But then a few days ago, I started talking to him again. I feel a lot better now. So, build that relationship with him. I really do think that will help. And I really do wish the best for you. Take control of your life. Don't let go of it, and especially don't give it to somebody else. Unless it's your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And as always, life isn't too short to make a change.